Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. In this lesson, we will learn about the structures of some ionic solid. Okay. Simple ionic solids such as sodium chloride and potassium bromide are like metals that the individuals ions are spheres that pack together in a regular way. The difference between them is the spheres are not all in the same size. In the ionic solid, anions are generally larger than cations. Okay? And the ionic solid adopt a variety of different unit cells. Okay, do you still remember what we have learned in the unit cells topic? Okay, we have simple unit cells, body-centered unit cells, and also the face-centered unit cells. Okay. Okay. As you can see here, this is the unit cell of sodium chloride. In this figure, for A, okay, this is the skeletal view of the unit cells, and B is the space-filling view of the unit cells. You can see here clearly that the larger chloride anion, this one is the chloride anions, okay, adopt, okay, a face-centered cubic unit cells, okay, and the smaller sodium cation fitting into the holes between adjacent anions. Okay, you can see here the sodium cation is fitting into the holes between the adjacent anion. Okay, in this case, it is necessary that the unit cells of an ionic substance be electrically neutral with equal numbers of positive and negative charge. In the sodium chloride unit cells, okay, you can see here we have to calculate the chlorine anions and also the sodium cations. Okay, from here we know how many atoms are in the unit cells. Okay, you can see here the chlorine anions, okay, fill at the corner atom and the face atom at the unit cell. Okay, so we have in the unit cells we have how many corner? We have 8 corner in the 1 cubic unit cell, right? So here we have 8 chlorine anions, okay, in the corner of the cubic unit cell. So we have 1/8 times by 8, okay, because at each corner atoms, okay, it is shared by 8 cells, right? So 1/8 times by 8, and we will get 1 atom as the corner atom. Okay, so and for the face atoms, okay, we also have chlorine anions at the face atoms. Okay, so we have 6 faces for the cubic unit cell, okay, which is each face atom is shared by 2 cells, right? So we have 1/6 times by 2. So we have 3 atoms for the face atoms. Okay, and we know for the sodium chloride unit cell, we have also the sodium cation. So, we have to calculate the sodium cations too. Okay, and we know that the sodium cation, okay, fit into the holes between the adjacent anion, right? So, the sodium cation will fit at the edge of the cube, okay, because the chlorine anion, okay, fill at the corner and face. So, the sodium cation will be filled in the edge of the cubic cell, okay. So, we have 12 edge in the cubic cell, right? So, but at each edge atoms, okay, here in the cubic cell is shared by 4 cells. So, we have to calculate it by 1 over 4 times by 12. So, we have 3 atoms for the edge atoms, okay? So, we know that we have for chlorine and ions, we have 4 atoms, and for sodium cation, we have 3 atoms, okay? That is how we calculate the sodium chloride unit cells, for atoms for the sodium chloride unit cells. Okay, the other common ionic cells, okay, are the unit cell for the copper 1 chloride and barium chloride, okay. You can see here, copper 1 chloride has the face-centered cubic arrangement of the larger chlorine and ions with the smaller copper and copper cations, okay, in holes, okay. You can see here copper cation in holes, so that each will be surrounded by a tetrahedron of 4 ions, okay. Here you can see for barium chloride, it is contrast than the unit cell for copper 1 chloride, okay. Okay, it has a face-centered cubic arrangement of smaller, okay, you can see here, smaller barium 2 plus cation with the larger chlorine and ions surrounded tetrahedrally, okay. So, it is as required for charge neutrality, which is there are twice as many chlorine and ions as barium cations, okay. So, you can see here in copper 1 chloride unit cells, there is only alternating holes are filled with copper cation, while in the barium chloride unit cells, all holes are filled, okay. There is difference between the copper 1 chloride and the barium chloride unit cell. So, here we have the structures of some ionic liquid, which is the sodium chloride, copper 1 chloride, and also the barium chloride, okay. So, that's all for this lesson. Thank you so much and stay tuned.